Hello everyone, I'm Renown Zero, and I always find it interesting the type of behavior that comes out of the new CG cult and the absolute sycophants that surround one EVS, aka Throatgo, aka the Frog Daddy. And it's always hilarious watching these guys get so triggered whenever I say literally anything. It's funny how they present feminine behavior, and me simply calling out said feminine behavior. They always seem to get really upset and butthurt over it, and I find it very hilarious that these guys are getting triggered over an action figure that's being released by Eric July in collaboration with McFarlane. That's right, a collaboration, aka a partnership, the thing that they got really mad over happening the first time when the Yara statue was announced, and now they're getting really butthurt and doing their usual pocket watching as they always do when it comes to anything the Rippaverse does. Now we have a second collaboration with McFarlane Toys, where they now have an ISOM 7-inch action figure up for pre-order with 108 days left to go, mind you. And you got these dudes acting as if this whole thing is a flop, even though they literally have EVS with his CG Master Racers with 57 cars sold on Fund My Comic. Pretty sure there was more than that, maybe somewhere, but I believe that campaign seems to be missing as far as I'm aware. But since that's the only thing that I have to go by at the moment, that's what I'm going to use as a basis of what really looks like a failure and what doesn't. So there's 108 days, 7 hours and 21 minutes left to go. It's context that these losers like to keep out at all times because they need to push a narrative that for some reason a collaboration with McFarlane Toys is somehow a failure. So right now there's 304 total figures sold at 20,835 sales. I'm pretty sure every single figure is already made profit because literally you'd sell stuff towards getting a profit. You don't sell something to break even. You typically sell something to make profit. But by comparison, 57 backers versus 304. This is a pre-order, by the way. This isn't you funding this figure. This figure is already created. It has a completed box and everything right down here. You can see it. It has the ISOM number 1 cover A right there in the box. These are the same clowns that believe that Eric lost the ISOM name, even though it's literally right there on the box, right down here. And these are the same idiots that believe that primeval is an adjective that goes before ISOM when Rippaverse's primeval is simply a toy line for the Rippaverse figures. Remember, there's also the Omnibus sitting at 50,902. This is yet another thing they also cried about, like certain furries that are out there crying about, oh, look, it's a flop. It's an omnibus for people who are starting out in the universe who don't have to buy every single individual book. I believe most people, or at least 95% of people, bought every single book individually from the omnibus. This is literally for new people who want to jump in and get more bang for their buck. That's typically how an omnibus works. It's very weird how these guys try to see everything as an L when everything's a W. Absolutely hilarious. But what they really should be worried about is Norfolk of Glory's Death number 1, sitting at 38 more days to go at $205,000, 4,733 total books sold. When you literally have things like the Ultra Cyber Frog Warts and All getting destroyed by a single comic, or even his latest campaign getting destroyed by a single comic. It's like more people are buying Rippaverse comics over Cybercuck. Nobody gives a crap about books from a person who is known for being late on product, on top of the fact that their stories suck. At least in my opinion. But I simply said 2 words. I said feminine behavior. By these same individuals all the time. A guy who literally names himself as an Ethan Van Sciver simp. So nothing this man says should ever be taken serious when he literally calls himself an Ethan Van Sciver simp in his own profile. It's funny how these simple 2 words can get these guys so triggered. So triggered. It's just like what this guy right here says. They're upset over Evan Boyette and think, oh yeah, we should start obsessing over Rippaverse numbers. That'll teach them. The same thing they cry about consistently with Edwin Boyette. watching numbers, which I've said it in a tweet. Both sides doing this are both stupid. But I also said they get what they deserve because they started this nonsense in the first place. So now they're just getting the reverse of it, and they absolutely hate that it's happening to them after they've been doing this for over 3 years now, mind you. It's absolutely crazy how this makes any sense. But you got good old Crusader Joe here getting really ass mad. If they're not pre-orders, which they are, means the figure's already done. Eric is in for a world of hurt with 40,000 figures he won't sell more than 1,000 of during his lifetime at bare minimum profit, no less. You're one of those idiots who probably believes that Eric somehow ordered 40,000. I'm pretty sure the way he does it is he orders the necessary amount for something like this. Maybe a little bit over, but 40K? No. I'm sorry that Eric is a better businessman than EVS, who has figures admittedly sitting in a warehouse being up for sale for near 50% off because he can't sell them. And we don't do much care as much as we're waiting to laugh at the failure. Again, if there is profit, that means it succeeded. So you are just one of those people that look like an absolute moron claiming that it makes bare minimum profit, so it means it makes money. And then you're saying it's a failure, so if it makes profit, it's still a failure? Or what are we talking about exactly? But simply someone asking, you all act as if Eric personally hurt you guys. What is your problem? Why do you care? Why do you care? Why do you care what Eric does with his business? It sounds so stupid. You act like Eric is your wife's boyfriend or something. What is your need to defend him? I mean, what is your need to constantly go at him when he literally pays you losers no mind? I'm sure you guys really want that response really bad from the black men in indie comics. I'm not defending him, and you act like he broke your heart and stole money from you. Damn. Are you familiar with the internet? It's the harshest of critics. I'm like, this isn't criticism. This is obsession. There is no critique for there to be criticism. You want obsession? Look in the mirror. I'm like, don't talk about yourself like that. It's insulting. Calling out hypocrisy is an obsession. I'm not obsessed with literally anyone on the internet. If we want to talk about obsessed, there are plenty of people on this app who are always obsessed with me, constantly posting about me on a daily basis, tagging me and stuff. If you want to talk about obsession, you guys literally talk about the Rippaverse probably more than I do. I talk about it when it's necessary. So it's like, what are we really doing here? You're a lukewarm IQ Melanie Macward who's self-deluded. You are alone, you have no friends, and your family is disgusted with you. As you sit on the internet crying about the black man in indie comics, worrying about another man's pockets like a feminine bitch. But continue. You get online and do this weird thing to this person to try to earn head pats and get a place in the pecking order for people to agree with you. I have an audience of people that disagree with me all the time on stuff. What are we talking about? You have no one fooled. Saying the usual NPC word that he literally means nothing because, of course, that's what people have to do. It has no backstory behind it, and constantly saying the word literally does nothing for me except helps me laugh at you. You literally get online, you talk shit all day, every day. I've turned making fun of below room temperature IQ individuals like yourself into a successful YouTube channel. No need to project your pathetic life onto me. Not everyone who watches my content agrees with me, and of course I make a joke about how Master Hobo and I quote-unquote fight because I always say Akira is better than Ninja Scroll, and the quote-unquote fight is never going to end because I'm always going to think this. You're chronically online looking for validation from other weirdos who are socially awkward in their mid-40s, kind of like a Smug Davis, who is socially awkward at a convention, because that's typically the type of person he is, and those type of people are. And of course, Master Hobo will respond. But you're making stuff up. Not surprising, still not fooling anyone. I don't need to make stuff up if I have facts and evidence to prove my case. But I will always say that my money is none of your business. You're not a person in my life that's ever going to see a penny of my money, so why should I tell you about it? I don't need to make anything up. My analytics don't lie. Your own tweets showing how chronically online you are don't lie. No need to project your homoerotic ways onto me. As you continue to think you're going to ratio me at some point today, it's not going to happen. You don't have the analytics, you mouth-breathing sorry excuse for a stain. It's like, wow, bro, insults. Totally making your case stronger. YouTube says otherwise. No need to be butthurt that I make money making fun of low IQ minions like yourself. I didn't realize you were part of the Rippaverse Street team. Continue trying to astroturf the scene while we laugh at Rippa's end. I'm telling you, this guy just repeats whatever he's told. I was wondering if I could get you to repost something saying that you're a mouth-breathing stain. Thanks for playing. Repost this for everyone to see. Yeah, everyone's gonna get. I'm gonna repost it, and everyone's gonna laugh at you because you are literally what you called me. You are a missed opportunity to be swallowed. But that's beside the point. This is why I call these guys low IQ minions. They genuinely believe whatever they're told to believe. So much so, I turned the Rippaverse Street team into an emoji on my channel. Rippasen has gone 4 for 4 for successful campaigns. Cope and seethe every day like a jealous ex-girlfriend type. Literally watching another man's pockets like a feminine bitch. As I continue to say. Nothing I reposted makes this claim that you put in here. Be gone, low IQ. The more you talk, the longer my audience gets to laugh at you. You're nothing but a useful idiot. It's similar to a certain furry lymphartsy. This person, Sturgis, is peak delusional gamma male. Little does he know he's only fooling himself. It'd be funnier if it weren't so damn pathetic. So exactly how am I fooling myself when I have analytics and views to prove that I make money making fun of you idiots on a consistent basis with no issues whatsoever? Yes, my analytics and views makes me delusional. He's so butthurt that I make money off these guys' stupidity and my audience gets a good laugh at how pathetic, fat, overweight, and out of shape grown-ass feminine men in their mid-40s cry about a black guy making comic books. These are the same guys that literally don't buy anything. But, I mean, what are we really talking about exactly? Well, a great friend of the channel, by the name of Hero Darky Dark, did just put out Relentlessly Bullied Hero number 3. It's amazing how when creators are passionate about their work, they get to an issue number 3 and actually get work done. Because it's funny how so far I've backed 3 campaigns in the last 2 weeks that all have a number 3, like Fiendish, Phenomenova, and now this. So I put this out. Of course, this is the image that just happens to pop up. This actually is available as a poster, which is why it pops up. But it's funny when certain furries out here want to be so butthurt over it. Let's see. He puts, "What is wrong with you?" Oh, look, the closeted homosexual furry is butthurt I spent my money on, checks notes, a comic I want to buy, the horror. Your furry art is still trash. Because I'm sure you'll read it at some point. You thought following me again for the millionth time, looking like a psycho stalker, was going to help you in this case. Because this is the type of audience that thinks if I don't back Cybercuck by a fat, overweight, out-of-shape New Jerseyan who is late on every project, 5 years late with Rainbow the Fruit, that I can't buy anything I want with my own money because this is how children act. This is how people that are ashamed of themselves act. Because clearly the dude is literally gay on the low. And he's into furries. I'm sorry that the character on the screen isn't some female fox or wolf for you to fap to. I'm sorry that's not the case, and I'm not into that shit. Unlike you. If you knew anything about this story, I didn't buy Relentlessly Bully Hero number 3 because the female character was hot. Grimora. I bought it because the character of Zeal is interesting and the dynamic between Zeal and Grimora is interesting and I like the story that's going on in the book. I didn't buy it specifically for this character. I bought it for the dynamic and the storyline between the two characters, Zeal and Grimora, written by Hero Darky Dark. I will leave links to this book in the description of this video, by the way, because people should notice this book more if they're into things like One Punch Man and My Hero Academia, which you can get a catch-up pack and get all 3 books on the campaign. And it just launched today, so the guy deserves success. I've had him on the channel as well. We've actually done an interview before with Relentlessly Bully Hero number 2, and I'd be more than happy to have the man back on to talk about the 3rd book as well at some point. But I find it very interesting as usual because these guys are all obsessed with literally anything I say or anything I do. They literally obsess over Rippaverse. They literally obsess over anyone that likes it. And it's funny how, again, they'll sit there and think this is the only thing I back when literally I have just recently posted that I backed Fiendish 3, Phenomenova 3, and now Relentlessly Bully Hero number 3. So number 3 books that I will probably get before I get Cybercook 3 or even Rainbow the Fruit. So thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, and returning viewers. If you do like this video, smash the like button. Comment below if you feel about all this. Subscribe for more content. Hit the bell for notifications. Set the bell to all. That way you'll get a notification anytime I post a video or go live on the channel. See you all in the next one. Peace.